All right, the video store tournament is open. My name is Eli. I'm one of the. I don't know. I'm. My name is Eli, but I'm wondering what the name of the people in Bloodsport were. That I guess the council, the dudes that were like the three wise men. Do you think they're the owners of Bloodsport, or are they the wise men? I don't know.
I guess they're just the judges on shift.
Well, but see, you had okay. Well, anyway, my name is Eli. I'm one of the owners, and man, I don't know what I am. I'm one of the owners of the Top Shelf Video Podcast, and I'm also one of the co-hosts.
And that would make me Jaime. I'm pretty sure I'm still a co-host.
Yeah,
co-owner.
The
podcast.
Yeah, I feel like I threw myself off.
Derailed a little quick there.
Yeah, I really, for whatever reason, my brain went to like so we're talking about Bloodsport. we're just gonna jump right into it, and we'll circle back around on a couple other things. But we're talking about Bloodsport, and I was gonna tell you this before we started recording, but I figured we'd just cover it here, right? Which is like, what is there to say about Bloodsport that hasn't already been said like 1,000 times? But
yeah,
I guess we'll talk about our takes on Bloodsport, but I feel like Bloodsport is maybe one of the movies that hits our cultural, like it hit right at the cultural sweet spot of video store era, cable, video games, costumes, Halloween. I don't know, like everything. It was maybe it was like the apex of this type of movie, but also like what it did for like the pre-internet like sort of pre-internet like sort of GIF meme sort of thing. Did you watch those videos that I sent you on Instagram?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
okay, yeah. And
I think all of us did that at some point.
Yeah.
With
the Jean-Claude imitation of whether he's blind or doing like a punch that he kind of looks away, but he's like hitting the punch, but he's so yeah exactly. He's so badass that he doesn't have to like have locked in vision or whatever. But so yeah, I guess let's go back to the beginning though, real quick, and talk about the 1988 probably seminal like film from Canon. Actually, this is I guess you could argue that this is like the apex of Canon, even though maybe 84 would be that, but a Canon film.
This was a polished gem.
Yes,
next
rare,
to they were,
right?
It built up we got it. I think this was where it was like a nice polished gem of a production. Yeah.
I definitely would say that, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I ended up watching this. I'm much like you. I watched it twice, even though this movie, if there's any when you have your like a CRT TV or a plasma TV, if you have it on for too long, and then like it burns the images into the screen, and you kind of see like, oh, I can see the menu from like TiVo burned into the screen. That's kind of Bloodsport for me. Like I didn't really have to watch it because there are so many things that are burned into my
burned
screen.
Into your
yeah, that I mean I can call it out, but the return, I guess the return of the Psychotronic video guide this time doesn't fail us, because there is a listing for this, even though, man, the number of blood movies, we could go on like a blood quest or
a blood theme,
like a blood
season of the
bloodletting. I guess is that
our season 4 of the podcast will be bloodletting.
Just blood, the blood season. Yeah, look, I mean, there's just like so. I mean, there's like just looking at a couple of them here. There's like Blood and Guts, Blood and Sand, Blood Beat, Blood Diner, Blood Freak, Blood Fist 3, First to Fight.
Wait, was there Massacre. A 1 and 2 in there? You said
they
Blood Fist
don't,
3.
They don't have it. Oh, no,
1
they
and
do.
2.
They have Blood Fist 2, and then Blood Fist 3, which is first to fight, or also known as Forced to Fight. Oh, okay. Guess who produced Blood Fist 2, and Blood Fist 3? If you had to guess, I'll tell you. Okay, so here's a. Let me give you some things to maybe make you guess who is involved in this. Don the Wilson Dragon is in the third one and the second one. Oh, and the first one. He travels to Manila. Let's see, what else can I give you? John Carradine is in one of them. Who would you guess is the producer if they're trying to make a movie that probably is reminiscent to Bloodsport, but called Blood Fist instead? And another hint would be that we just covered a movie that he also made that is basically another ripoff of another movie that we were just talking about.
Oh, shit.
That involves samurais.
Dude, it's right there. It's Court.
Yep.
Yeah. Court.
He lived to be 99. Roger Corman.
Roger Corman. Okay.
Yep. So
of course,
it's funny because I will tell you why I know that Blood Fist is a ripoff of Bloodsport in a minute. But around all the other blood movies that are here, let's see. Bloodsport is listed. So 1988, Bloodsport from Canon was based on the true story of Frank Dukes, the first Westerner to win the secret Kumite martial arts competition in Hong Kong. It was the first starring role for Belgium's Jean-Claude Van Damme, real name Van Warmberg. I didn't know that. He
that
trained
sounds more
by,
Belgian, I guess.
Yeah. He trained by Senzo Tiger Tanaka and has to fight Bolo Young from Enter the Dragon as the crooked, mean Korean contestant, with Forrest Whitaker, Leah Ayres Hamilton, and Michael Quissy. After a while, kickboxer movies were as common as post-nuclear survival movies, which is absolutely true. Yeah, I was going to ask, I assume you just kind of watch this on a streaming service or,
Yeah, it was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I saw that it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on Roku. You can watch it on Pluto TV. I mean, it's almost
all of
everywhere.
Those. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
You can watch it almost everywhere free with ads.
Yeah.
I decided, because I have a copy of it. I have a VHS and I have a Blu-ray. Or no, I have a regular DVD. I have the 4K and the Blu-ray that comes out with it. So I decided, I was like, I've seen this so many times and it is burned into my screen that I decided, I was like, I'm going to listen to, if there's an audio commentary, I'm going to listen to it because I'm very curious, like, what people have to say, because I mean, like I said, I've seen this, so it's not like anything that I don't know. I already know which scenes
You don't have to be super attentive to the dialogue.
Yeah. So I have a couple notes. I figured what we could do for this episode, since, I think we could summarize this movie by saying, like, I mean, it's kind of in what Psychotronic Video Guide describes, but it's basically like army guy is army tough, trains with Japanese sensei, fights in tournament. The end. Like, that's, I mean,
gets the girl,
it doesn't get
whatever.
Yeah, and even the girl thing is like barely even a thing. Like, and that's pretty much it. I guess we should say that we did pick this movie because I guess
yes.
Yeah, recently, which is, kind of a bummer, but Donald Gibb, who plays Jackson in the movie and is also in Revenge of the Nerds, and Oh, that's right. He was in U.S. Marshals. I mean, he's kind of been that guy. Like he's kind of been the you very much recognize him if you see him. But yeah, unfortunately, I think he passed away of like pancreatic cancer or something recently. And that was a bummer. It was a bummer to hear because like from what everybody said, it seems like he was like a pretty like authentic guy. He was, I think he definitely helps this movie tremendously with regards to like the tone and I guess like the how the movie sort of it's like an action movie, but at the same time it's got a little bit of comedy and a couple other things that sort of like run through it. Like you were saying, it's a very well refined canon movie for the canon for the canon library
for what they're known for.
Yeah, and so I thought that was like, I don't know. I guess there's so many things I guess that you could say about this movie with regards to like, I mean it if it wasn't for this movie we wouldn't have like things like Mortal Kombat or a lot of other like fighting type movies of this style because there weren't too many before this that were like an actual tournament. Yeah. Like there was like the Dangerous Game or Enter the Dragon or the Most Dangerous Game.
I was gonna say there was a little bit of Enter the Dragon vibe once they got into the tournament, but
it not in the same level as this where it's like a legit tournament.
Yeah.
Like
I'm trying to think of
scoreboard tournament.
Damn, what was it? Best of the
there
Best.
Was one.
I think the one with Eric Roberts, and it was the U.S. versus Korea, I think. But yeah, that was the only other one that I could think of that was like an official tournament because that one was like I think James Earl Jones was the coach or some shit.
Yeah.
That was I just remember they had to do with a cowboy hat. I have to go back to look. It's not. Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh
yeah, that was the one.
This came out a year after Bloodsport, so almost like it almost bleeds out of Bloodsport, right? Because like everybody knew that like, oh man, these tournament movies, like
people are into this shit. Like, oh damn, like they're like, oh yeah, it was the new shiny thing. It was like, oh, they really liked it.
Yeah, so, the other funny thing about it too is this would have been this I feel like very much credit you don't have the Ultimate Fighting Championships, which I guess now is called the UFC for short.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't. I don't think we would have. I don't think we would have like that.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right, dude. I mean, because this, especially with this one, like because this one kind of it made it a point to like these were different fighting styles from all over the world, and then I remember like when the Ultimate Fighting Championship was before it became a legitimate thing, and it was more of like this one-off pay-per-view thing that it was like, oh, this is weird. Like, it was like a dude, a boxer and against a wrestler, and it was like
a sumo guy. There was that one guy who fought with like one boxing glove, and then the other hand was free. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was like some backyard shit that managed to get on.
Yeah,
pay-per-view or something, and then it just took off. But at the time, the whole concept of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy is going to go up against a guy that like a guy that's just a bar brawler, like a Jackson kind of guy, or a guy that's literally just disciplined in boxing, that was cool. Back in the day,
I don't think you would have that without So I'm looking up here.
I agree.
Ultimate Fighting Championship, the first one was in 1993, so it definitely was. It had to have been influenced by this movie because I remember them even talking. I'm trying to think back when we watched that because I remember Dad was super interested in it, and we were like, "Well, this is weird," but we're totally into it.
Yeah.
And I remember that
Dad was big into boxing. Boxing was the thing. Back then, and so when that took off, and I think and we were mesmerized by this movie. So when that came out, it was like, oh, these different styles. You know,
we've never seen
that
jiu-jitsu or karate like in the actual style that is like a real thing outside of what we've seen in movies. But if this came out or the first UFC was in 1993, then this is definitely like a reason for that. And I also want to say, I remember watching that and them saying like, this is the real blood sport, like, you know, and I think that
sure,
they may have pivoted. You know,
they could have pitched that easily,
Yeah,
this was still pretty fresh, and then whatever, you know, sequels and there was what else, Kickboxer and all this other, like, you know, the Van Damme era was kicking off with this one, and it rolled right into Ultimate Fighting Championships.
Yeah, so. And I think I'm trying to remember. I want to say there were multiple movies of this. I'm trying to think. So I think it's, according to the internet, there were 4 or Bloodsport movies. But as we saw, like, there were 3 Blood Fist movies. I know there's like all sorts of variations of this. Right. And to be honest, like, man, if they put out a movie like this today and it's like decently good, I would watch it, like, without a doubt. But yeah, so let's just jump into the movie itself. Like, I think what we can probably cover is like what some of our favorite moments are, because like, as I rewatched this, I was like, this is mostly like a montage movie, and it's a montage movie with, like you were saying, I think they added some like the romantic sort of side story, but I mean, it's very light, and it's really not all that romantic. It was the romantic things about as quick as the one night stand that it seems to be in the movie. Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. So talking about like some of the favorite scenes, I think one of the things that is kind of funny, or one of the scenes that I think gets called out by quite a few people, because it's extremely like it's very, like, if there is a very canon-esque sequence in this movie, it's when the little kid is trying to break into the house and steal the katana, and gets caught by the dad,
and the boy, the son,
and this guy, or this kid that it's clearly dubbed over to try to make him sound like Jean-Claude Van Damme, even though he doesn't look anything like him.
No.
I love that he breaks in, and it's so what I learned from watching the audio commentary, and the audio commentary is done by the writer of the movie, and then some super fan guy who's like not in the film or is in films. He's just like the ultimate like Bloodsport fan guy, I guess. He's like super jacked up, and I'm sure he trains like just to make sure he's in shape, like the guys in Bloodsport. And then it also has the guy who plays the Muay Thai kickboxer guy, the Paco. Yeah. That guy is in it. And as soon as they showed him on screen, because they do a little intro and they talk about that they're going to do the audio commentary, I'm like, dude, that's the one guy. And sure enough, it is, and he's in it. I will say this audio commentary is terrible. Like, it's not good, because the super fan guy, he pretty much talks the entire time, and he kind of is like talking you through the movie, and like, he's such a super nerd that he's like, oh, and right here you can see this is where he's trying to steal the katana. But, you know, he shouldn't really do that. And because stealing is not part of the way of martial arts, like, he has to learn. And I'm like, dude, I can watch the movie. Like, you don't have to explain every tiny aspect of the movie to me. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but it is kind of funny because he does have a lot of tidbits. But then the writer guy is like, oh, is that true? I don't know if that is, because like at one point they're talking about one of the fighters, the super fan guy, and he's like, yeah, he was like 6'8", and blah blah blah, and the writer guy's like, is he 6'8"? That doesn't look like 6'8" to me. And even I was like, dude, that is not 6'8", because I know like Jean-Claude Van Damme is not. I want to say he's only like 5 something. Like, he's not
5 something. Yeah,
he's not like this big towering guy. So I was like, yeah, he is not fucking 6'8", this other guy. And then, he just kind of goes on and on and on. But what I was going to say is like some of the tidbits that he was giving was that the whole movie was filmed in Hong Kong. Like nothing was filmed in the U.S. And it says here that Jean-Claude is like 5'10", which again is not like particularly tall. But it's just kind of funny because they were talking about how like this was filmed in Hong Kong, and there were some interesting little like nuggets here and there, including the fact that like the house where they film and everything, all those sequences, the flashbacks with him as a kid, that is also filmed in Hong Kong. Which the more you look at some of the images, when he's the army guy at the beginning, and the guy comes in and tells him, hey, the colonel or whoever wants to talk to you, and he found out about your trip to Hong Kong. Did you notice, because the guy called out in the commentary, and I guess I never really paid that much attention, but like the army guy he's not army, he's wearing some other outfit, because they didn't have any army outfits. They're on a Hong Kong base. So they used whatever they had access to. And so the guy is not wearing any, I don't know what you call it, but like the little like
the nameplate and stuff. Yeah.
Anything. Like he has nothing. Actually, if you watch, like he's got nothing on the shoulder. He's got nothing here. He's got nothing on the collar. It's literally just, I think it tricks the eye because it looks like an Air Force shirt. But if you look carefully, like they have nothing. And then when he's running to the base, you see like some army guys doing training. They clearly do not look like U.S. like army guys. And they were like, I didn't notice it either until he calls it out. But he's like, all of that was filmed in some base in Hong Kong because they got permission. And so everything, that's why everything feels a little weird. And they had to cast those kids they were on the army bases. Well, not even army bases, I guess, whatever the Hong Kong army was. They literally just were like, hey kid, do you want to be in this movie? And they got, I guess, whoever looked closest to like Jean-Claude Van Damme in their opinion, and then they just dubbed it over. So I did find that whole sequence really funny, how Americanized they try to make the Jean-Claude character, where he's wearing a like a New York Giants, right? He's wearing a Giants jersey.
He had it was like a Giants jersey and a New York.
No, a San Francisco Giants hat.
Hat. Yeah, I did notice that. I was like, it wasn't like, I was like, where?
Right.
Where's he from? It's like, where did this happen?
I think whoever was doing like the outfits, they're like, well, that's Giants, right? And that's Giants, right? Like, sure. And they just kind of threw it all together and said, here.
Yeah, it's all American sports teams. Fuck it, just put it on.
And they're all the Giants. They're all the same, right? It's funny how you can see that like sort of flaw in there, but like that whole sequence is just kind of funny to me in general because like, I like it because the dubbing is really bad, and then the what do you call it, the sensei guy like has like he has the sword, and he like when he like cuts his hat bill or the front of his hat, and then he's like, you didn't flinch, you have fighting spirit. And I was like, that's it? Like that's the whole that's all it takes. Yeah, it's like, wow, man, it seems like a low bar, but at the same time, like, I guess if somebody took a sword to your face and cut off part of your hat, then I guess that kind of counts. But
I suppose
I really like that.
The bar was pretty low in '88, I guess.
Yeah.
That's funny, because I also had dubbed also as my first little note on my phone. I put on my stylus. I was like dubbed with a question mark. And it was that scene in particular that you're talking about, the exact scene. Where I was just like, I was like, I never noticed it. So it feels off, but not, but off. So it makes sense.
It's funny because the other thing that I learned from the audio commentary was apparently, and I guess I never really thought about this until I rewatched it, but so he's brought on, right, to be basically the training dummy for his son. Like he's like, I need somebody to train with my son that my son can beat the shit out of, and that's going to be you. And I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Like that's his punishment for trying to steal.
Oh,
and then he goes to the parents and tells the parents like, hey, I can train your son in discipline. But he doesn't actually say like he tried to steal from him. He's just like, telling him, like, hey, he would be a good a good student, but they don't actually talk about how the son dies. Like it's just there's a scene and he's dead.
Oh yeah,
and that's it. So in the audio commentary, they said that they actually had filmed a much longer sequence that the son. Well, it's funny because he said they filmed two things, and one of them just didn't make any sense after they filmed it, and we're like, why are we even saying that? Because it doesn't make sense. But the first one, they said that they filmed it. The kid apparently dies in a car accident, and I guess he's like a teenager or he's like a little bit older, and so that's like that's when he dies, because Jean-Claude is basically like a full-grown adult when he's like there looking at the picture with the sensei. I mean, it's just him with a different haircut, right? And they're trying to make him look younger. So they tried saying
the little fuzz on the top.
Yeah,
I guess that was like his teenage years or something.
Yeah, which is funny because this is where like the canon the non-flow of a canon movie was definitely there, because apparently, I guess as another tidbit, is like they had two versions of this film. One of them has like the scene or there's a whole sequence where the kid dies in a car accident, and then like the dad is like kind of like unable to get over it, and like Jean-Claude goes to the whole spiel of like, no, let me honor you, because he wanted to fight in the kumite, which is kind of funny because it's like, man, as a kid, I don't know if like your dream is to fight in the sport, in the blood sport. Like that seems weird because in the little kid is like,
when the kid's getting bullied, he's like, one day I'm gonna, I'll show my dad and I'll fight in the kumite. And I was like, that's an interesting goal.
Yeah.
To have, I mean, because he's still little in that sequence.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll make my dad proud in the kumite. I'm like, is he already teaching? Like, I mean, like you're already aware that there's a sport to the death.
Yeah.
And that's your goal. Okay.
Yeah. He's still like Happy Meal age at that point. Like it's funny because I'm kind of like, dude, if this white boy kid is kicking your ass at school, I don't think you're going to last in the kumite, but okay. Like, sure. But it's funny. So they talk about how, so he dies in a car accident. That whole sequence plays out. And the movie was apparently much slower and longer. And they actually fired the first director and brought in another editor to re-edit the movie with Jean-Claude, because they were like, yeah, this is not working. Like, we have lots of footage, but we don't have like a good paced movie. So apparently that's the second cut. But they said also in the first cut that they had tried another thing, which was the son dies in Vietnam. And I was like, wait a minute. And even the guy who wrote the original script, he was like, yeah, I didn't write that, but they were trying to justify, or they were trying to find a reasoning behind like, well, why did he die? And why is the father like so like distraught about it? So they were like, oh, maybe if he dies in Vietnam. And so they actually filmed that, but then they were like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Like, when is this supposed to be taking place? Because like the Vietnam War would have been over by then, at least based on how they looked. Because like, and even then it's kind of hard to judge, right? Because when they're little kids, they're kind of making it seem like that's supposed to be the 60s or the 70s. Like that, I mean, because if you were to say like the current time is 1988, right? Then that means like Jean-Claude is at the height of his age, and he's only supposed to be like 21, 22. So that would have been 10 years prior, right? So that would have been like 77.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. I mean, and he's an Army captain. You need time in the military to even get to that rank.
Yes.
So I mean, he wouldn't have been 21, 22 at that. Exactly. Yeah, the math wasn't mathing. So
and I think that the editor picked up on that, was like, you know what? We're just gonna say the kid's dead and we're gonna move on. And I think, and that's what's in the actual movie itself.
It works.
It absolutely works. It's a funny thing because, like we were saying, if it was a canon movie, I think they would have tried to justify it, and blah 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 blah. I think this other editor came in and was like, "Nah, let's just get to the fighting, man. Like, He wants to go fight in the Kumite. The kid said he wanted to do it. He's dead. Now we got this other guy. Let's go. Like, let's just let's
do it in your honor. Blah blah blah. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and obviously like, right, it works like really well. The other thing that I found out through the commentary, I didn't know if you knew this, but like part of the whole Bloodsport, right, is like there is the sumo guy, right? Or it's funny because I guess he looks like a sumo guy, the kind of the big guy,
the big dude, the guy he fights in the the quarterfinals.
He takes the death punch to the stomach.
Yeah, to the stomach, and then he gets the shot in the nuts. Yeah, he does the split, and then gets him underneath and the undercarriage, I guess.
So that guy's supposed to, I guess, and see, this is why the commentary was like kind of entertaining, but also like terrible because like the super fan was like, oh, and this guy's like a sumo guy. Oh, and this guy is like Wing Chun, and and this guy, and like, but the whole montages were happening so fast that it's like, dude, you don't have to call out every person on screen and their fighting style. Like, just kind of let the movie breathe a little bit. You don't have to like walk us through everything. But I mean, that is part of the Bloodsport, right? Is like there was like the sumo guy, and then there's the guy who sort of fights, I guess like you could say like monkey style. Like he's sort of kind of rolling around, even though apparently that guy is like capoeira fighter, and I guess that's what they were trying to do with one of the fighters. But even in the opening sequence, they kind of showed this one guy, and they're like, it's not really capoeira because they don't really do it.
There's not as much dancing. Yeah, there's a lot more. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I've seen I've seen enough of it. I played Tekken.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of the whole thing of the movie. But what I didn't know, and I guess they don't really specifically say, but the style that apparently Jean-Claude, that is the Tanaka style, it's ninja style, like ninjutsu.
Like ninjutsu.
That's apparently that is apparently either the super fan, either the super nerd fan is wrong, but he calls out a bunch of stuff that you can see in the background, and that's like the whole thing. And I was like, wait, what? Really? Because like I don't see it, but I guess maybe. And apparently where he calls that out is in the opening montage when he's training with Tanaka. There are like these posters behind him that have like a body, and there's like these like touch points. And apparently that's like a new ninjutsu thing of like striking at certain points that can cause like paralysis, or they cause like
that makes sense because they're like I thought that was more like an assassin type of skill set, So I mean I guess that would make sense if you're learning the pressure points and the I mean okay I could see that. I mean I guess but we've always associated ninjutsu with guys in the black suits and throwing stars and the not the katanas, ninja toe is the blade. I think we were always fascinated with the sword, with the straight sword with the square cover.
Yeah, and that's why it's also confusing too, because he has a katana that's curved, so it's not a what we would see as a ninja sword. So again, I feel like either the commentary was this guy was just kind of making shit up and it sounds good, and because much like a lot of things, and I'm sure you researched a little bit of this too, and the writer guy in the commentary like comments on this, but this whole story is fabricated. Like the whole Frank Dukes thing is a total lie.
I could have died happy not knowing that shit. Because this was such a, for us, it was so like inspirational, and the whole fighting thing, and I just like when I started hearing about the whole most of his military history is bullshit, and I mean I guess back then I didn't join the military till '92, right? But so like the whole idea of stolen valor was foreign to us, right? And the whole. Yeah, man, I was so bummed out when I was like, man, fuck. I could have died happy just knowing that this was in fact based on the true story, and there's a Westerner that has world records in this fucking this elite underground secret, even though we made a movie about it, but it's a secret tournament, and man, that deflated me so bad. I was like, fuck me, man.
I agree with you, but I think outside of the stolen valor thing, right? Which is that's shitty, and people should not do that. And this just kind of goes to prove, right, like how much you can get away with when before the internet like actually existed, right? Because like fact checking was pretty much like, okay, well, I mean, let's say, he's telling this story in 1980, right? Like, even if he was to say like, I was in the army, like back in 1980, I would be like, well, how do I verify that? Like, how do I get army records? Like, is that even something I can do? Who do I go to ask for army records, right? Like, I'm sure if
some
you're
other guy,
right. I'm sure if you're like a news reporter or if you're like a journalist, you actually learn those things in school and whatnot, right? To like understand how you kind of get there. But what I will say though, I mean, outside of the stolen valor thing, this is one of the few occasions where like it doesn't really piss me off too much because this reminds me of like a Theo or like, or like an uncle, right? Like we would say like a Theo or a Mexican Theo that like tells you the biggest tall tale that you were like, oh yeah, I got into some scraps in the bar, and I mean there were like maybe 5, I don't know, maybe like 30 guys, and it just keeps getting like bigger and bigger to the point where you're just like, oh, I guess so, right? And you're small enough, or you just believe enough that you're like, then you start telling that story to like your friends, and you're like, my uncle was in a fight. There were like over 300 guys there, right? And like it just gets so big and ridiculous.
That is the definition, the Webster definition of a tall tale,
right? And it gets
it just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and it reaches somebody who can make a movie out of it, and it's like, man, you know what? That would make an awesome movie. And then it's kind of like, oh shit, like I guess I got to kind of run with this, like, And then
when it gets bigger than you thought it was going to get, it leaves your circle of friends.
Yeah,
because one of your friends in the circle knows a guy with money or somebody who works at Canon, and be like, you know what, that sounds like a great idea.
That's a great movie.
We can make that movie.
Have him give me a call, and then you're like, oh shit,
fuck, I got to come up with some shit now.
I guess I got to run with this. Yeah, exactly. And so it's funny because in the commentary they talk about how Frank Dukes actually like gave a lot, like he worked with Jean-Claude not to teach him martial arts, because clearly Jean-Claude was way more advanced than like Frank Dukes. So Frank Dukes, I think, was kind of like, well, I'm retired. I don't really do that anymore. Blah blah blah. But I did do all these things, and so like he was telling apparently Jean-Claude like, oh yeah, this and that. Like he was giving him, what do you call it, the actor motivation, right, of his experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like he was like making up this bullshit as the movie was kind of being made. But I think in a lot of ways, I mean, if you think of it in that context, right, of like, this is like your Theo who's working on a car and then tells you like, hey, give me a beer, I'll tell you this story. Like that is what we're seeing in this movie. And like, if you think of it in that terms, you're like, wait, so there was like a sumo guy? It's like, oh yeah, there was like a sumo guy and a kickboxer and I don't know.
Yeah, a Muay Thai guy.
And some guy looked like he was fighting like a monkey. I mean, it was weird. But, I beat them all. And I did. Oh, yeah, and I beat this one guy in record time also. And like it just kind of goes on and on and on, right? And I don't know. Like I said, I'm okay with that, minus the stolen valor. But
that is funny. Like when you think about it, it's like, imagine like your uncle that your Theo that's telling you the story in the backyard with a beer, and then a limo pulls up and be like, all right, well, we need you to tell this story to a movie producer, and we're gonna this is a great story. We need to tell the guy that can make it into a movie. We're gonna make you famous, and then it's like you're just like, oh shit, okay.
All right. I mean, just, but yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think, again, it almost like speaks more to the cultural impact that it had on people like us and the video store and stuff like that. I thought that was like a pretty, a pretty funny note. But so like, I don't know. I think one of the other, like, so the whole opening sequence with the little kids, I really liked. I don't know, trivia question for you. Do you remember the name of the video game that they're playing
Karate Champ.
Hotel? Yes.
Karate Champ. Hell yeah, I remember that, dude. That was one of my favorite games.
Oh yeah.
I even have I put a note because I was going to comment about Karate Champ. I was like, I remember that. When they kind of do a quick view of their hands, and it's like you got the two left and right controller.
Yeah.
Like, and you could do your combos and stuff. Man, hell yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was next to Cyberball. That was, and I mean, of course, once Tekken came out and all that other shit later, but prior to that, it was either my coins were either on Cyberball because football, right? I mean, with robots. I mean, why would you not? Other than that, it was that or Karate Champ, and it was like the line of challengers was pretty. It was never short at Karate Champ.
Yeah, well, that was still like the 16-bit. Color palette before, like we did get like 32-bit with like Mortal Kombat and Virtual Fighter.
I think Virtual Fighter was the first one. That was the groundbreaking one.
The 3D, because that one
the
actually
3D with polygons and shit. Yeah, Virtual Fighter was the first, and then when Mortal Kombat came out, where it's like motion capture, blah blah blah, we were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Which I am seeing right now that Bloodsport is the inspiration for Mortal Kombat, and Johnny Cage is based on Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in this movie. Which made even more sense because like one of Johnny Cage's moves in Mortal Kombat is when he does the splits and hits you in the nuts, and that happened in the movie. I
didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yes, it is. So that makes it that, and then it even says here Van Damme later voiced Johnny Cage's character skin based on his likeness in Mortal Kombat 1.
No shit. That
I didn't know.
I did not know that either. That makes a lot of sense.
You heard it here first. So. Unless you've already read the Wikipedia, but
Yeah. Well, so I think some of the other like little tidbits, or I will say another thing that I actually really like about, what I liked about the movie. So the fact that it's filmed in Hong Kong, the aesthetic is like one of my favorite like aesthetics as far as like when they're showing the city and
the city. Yeah, 100%.
I wish they would have shown more of the city at night with all the neon and everything turned on, because like you see all those signs during the day, but I guess technically they're fighting underground during the night or whatever. But
they're busy. Yeah.
So the other thing that I found really interesting was like, so are you familiar with like I think I'm saying this right, the Kowloon walled city? It's like it's basically a giant city that is just buildings on top of buildings on top of buildings. Like it's very iconic in the sense of like what it is. It is like
you're talking like a style of building.
Well, no.
Style of city.
It is an actual place. It's a place that existed for a period of time during the. I want to say like maybe it was in the 90s. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so it's famously, I would say, like you saw it a lot in Ghost in a Shell, like that particular look. But it's an actual place called the Walled City because they literally built not even buildings. It's hard to describe, but like it's almost like you see it in a lot of like cyberpunk sort of things where there'll be like a trailer building on top of another one on top of another one, and they look like they're all going to collapse, but at the same time, they actually were there. So that was a real place that was like the Kowloon Walled City, and like I want to say not millions, but they were close to 1 million people, if I'm not mistaken, that lived in this space, because it's like basically it's like the ghetto, but it had a fully functional government, and like.
Within the walls of this, it looks like a big building.
Yeah, but it literally
But it's a city.
It's a city, and the reason why I bring it up is because I love that aesthetic. And when they're going when they're going to go fight in the Kumite, and they show them walking through like these tight corridors, that is actually the real interior of this space. And the guy, when they were doing the audio commentary, they talk about that because there is not a lot of video footage or any footage of the inside of the walled city.
The insides of that, wow.
Outside of pictures and stuff, because it basically was control. Like the police didn't like going there because there was nothing they can do. And it's as crazy as it sounds. Like if you go in there and you don't know where you're going, you can easily get lost. If you get like, shivved or whatever, like they're not going to find you. And the police stayed away from there, and it was pretty much run by the what do they call it?
I imagine
mafia.
like the lords, like gang lords or
I'm trying to remember the name.
It's not the no, that's Japanese. Was it?
Well, no. I think you're right. Like the Yakuza.
Yakuza. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it apparently was run by Yakuza and then just other drug lords, and like I said, they pretty much everybody just maintained their own like stuff there, and it got to the point where like they eventually tore this thing down. I want to say like in the mid to late 90s, which is it's just incredible that it actually it stood that long. There's actually a movie that we watched. I want to say like last year or not. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Dude, that gives me the fucking the Raid vibes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just everything is in the build. Like I mean, I know that's a miles of building. They're all kind of on top of each other, but like just the like once you're in, you're not coming out. There's all kinds of crap.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we watched this movie called like Twilight of the Warriors Walled In. And it takes place in there, even though it's recreated. It's not like the actual place.
Sure.
But the only reason I bring it up is because I really like that aesthetic. I think it's interesting that they were able to basically time capsule that space by filming in there. And actually, as a matter of fact, and I noticed this when they were saying like, oh yeah, we filmed there, and it was we had to be very quick and we had to film whatever we need because like we had no protection. Like if something happened to us, it's not like we could call the police and they would come and do anything about it. They were like, we got permission from people that kind of lived around there. And then, we did our thing. And
stayed near the corner, like near the exit.
Yeah. They had to know their way out. And then when they reached the doors to that, they were like, yeah. And you can actually see when we turned this one corner, like that's a sound stage. Like it's very apparent. But if you watch that sequence again, because it actually lasts longer than I actually realized, where they are walking down that corridor. It's like him and Jackson and that other guy, I guess
Mr. Lee.
Yeah, Mr. Lee. I guess they're
or Mr. Lin. Yeah, Mr. Lin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mr. Lin. They're I guess he's like their representative, or not the representative.
He's like their liaison.
Yeah. So when they show that sequence where they're kind of walking through the walled city, it goes on much longer than I remember. But I think because it actually looks so cool, and there are scenes where they're in there that if you notice and look at the people in the background, like they clearly are doing the what the hell's going on over there? Like, are they filming? What is this? Like, they did not ask those people for permission.
They were extras.
They're extras because they live there. And if you remember towards the back end when Forrest Whitaker and that other guy,
they go through it twice.
When they have
initial entrance, and then when they have the final walkthrough with the Hong Kong police. And so they go through that hall twice.
If you notice that time, you can definitely tell there are people that are like looking around the corner, like, what the fuck's going on over there? Like,
that makes me wonder if the guy laughing in that right before the cops start coming at him, there's like a short. He looks like he's physically disabled or something. He looks kind of short, kind of like there's a guy that's kind of like laughing at him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was just like, he looked the part, and so it kind of a little creepy. Yeah. And they were like, hey, you know what? Just pop your head out of we'll give you $50 bucks or something, or, just come out and laugh. You need. Yeah. It all makes sense, dude. That totally jives.
Yeah, I really love, like, I mean, honestly, I would play, I mean, granted, we played those video games, but I would play a video game that had this sort of texture, or, I mean, honestly, I would love to build this in 3D, just like the amount of, the way the lighting and like just you see all these pipes and all this stuff, like it's super creepy. And there's like one scene where you see the camera kind of look up like through all this, and you can actually start to see the sky, because literally that's how the thing was built. Like all these buildings are just kind of like stacked to the point where they kind of narrow as they
I would
kind of
be
get
so
to the
fucking
top.
terrified to live there, dude. I mean, I know we live in a world, first world problems, with permits, building permits and
Right.
shit. I can't even imagine living higher in a structure like that.
Oh yeah, dude.
And maybe just like feel that shit rock a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, fuck that, dude. I would not be able to live.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah, you
I
think
don't think
about
I'd be
like
able to sleep in that.
you think about the plumbing, the electrical, like all the things that just like that,
Yeah.
and somehow they were able to make it very functional, and so
That's
that
a lot of extension cords.
yeah, yeah, they did. They definitely. That's the other thing too. I think part of the reason. I mean, not to go too much on this for much longer, but like one of the reasons why people were there and the reason why the drug lords like kind of ran it was because like people didn't pay electric bills or things like that. You know what I mean? Like all that was provided for them so long as they kind of kept their mouth shut and didn't do anything to upset the balance that was there.
Right.
And so
Okay.
like if the drug lords wanted them to do whatever, they had to do whatever. But like much like a lot of other places, right? There were shops down at the bottom where people could get food and barbershops and services. So like it was a fully functional city, which apparently also had a sports tournament with a bookie down at the bottom. That's where the Kumite was taking place. So
it checks out, man. It does.
That's the other thing.
That would be the place in Hong Kong where you would have a secret underground illegal tournament, fight to the death shit. Of course, it would be.
Yeah, as scary as it sounds, I would actually want to go to that if I knew I could go with somebody who was like
who
had
knew
an
how to get
absolute
there.
in, and was cool with like everybody says like no, he's cool, and then that way you're there, and then as soon as you're done, it's like we just go out, like go back the same way we came, and that's it. No shopping.
Yeah, we're not. You're not looking for the after party or nothing.
You're not looking for
just go to the event and get the hell out. Not hitting the gift shop.
Yeah. What are there any scenes or things that are like sort of your like things that you like or want to call out? I mean, there's so much here.
Man, I can't. I mean, I can't not talk about the fighting montage.
Yeah,
with the song, the
Kumite.
Kumite.
Yeah.
The Kumite song. It's like, I mean, that whole montage. I mean, and plus that is the meat and potatoes of the movie. I mean, that is you get a montage for the fighting tournament to weed out all of the I guess the first, second round of fighters. You just kind of you get a couple cool looking dudes, but you can kind of tell right away. The guys that are kind of like the big sumo dude and the monkey guy and the Muay Thai guy, you can already tell the guys that are a little more flair. They kind of make quick work of the regular looking fighting style guy. Like those all kind of get all right, but you still got to go through the tournament, right? It's a tournament, so you have to show that there's multiple rounds and multiple. So they just fuck it, put it to music. Like I mean, why not? Put it to music and get the cool, kumite, and there's just dudes flying off the mat, and everything. So I mean, if you're going to talk about Bloodsport, you can't not talk about the fighting tournament montage. Yeah, with the banging 80s music. I mean, so
yeah, and it's funny because I was like looking up some dates here, and while Karate Kid did come out before this movie by like 2 years or whatever. And they have a montage. They have there's a fighting montage there, but not in the same, because I think in that one's the "You're the Best Around" song, I want to say. And so there is that one, but I feel though that like, because I mean I wouldn't be able to do it right now, but if I had to rank the top 5 montages like of all time, that has to be like in the top 3. I mean, even if you're thinking about like movies like Red Dawn, where there's like a montage, like a montage of the Wolverines like taking
all of the battles.
Foothold.
Yeah.
And then like it I remember the one in Red Dawn sort of ends with him holding up the weapon. He's like, Wolverines. And that's sort of the end of the montage.
That is a good montage. Yeah.
And then there's like the Rocky IV montage where he fights Drago, but that's really just like as much as I hate to say it, like that one is really more like I don't know. it's like Rocky. I mean, it's like Sylvester Stallone like masturbating because it's just him working out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a way to show him getting all muscular and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
This montage, though, is like everything you want in that you're seeing different fighting styles. The music's badass. Like, there's a little bit of comedy, I guess, like in some of the fighting sequences, you know, where like just some of the stuff that happens, you know, and you're just kind of like, oh man, you know. So it's you've seen all these like outfits and costumes and like, I mean, I could only imagine. Because I guess what I would have been like at that point, I was already like 12, and so you were like teenage years. I mean, this was
88. That would have been the summer going into my freshman year.
Yeah, and I was
I was 88, 89 was my freshman year. I only remember that because of marching season.
And I was in junior high, and so this is like prime staying over at a friend's house. Like, I mean, I think I would probably have aged out a little bit of like Halloween costumes, but if I was at least like 3 or 4 years younger, like I would have wanted every outfit there, like, you know. Yeah, I think the fighting montage, yeah, you're right, is maybe one of the highlights, and it happens like almost at the exact like halfway point of the movie, which is like perfect. Because you know, the movie, like, thankfully, you know, with this like re-edit or whatever, they definitely like speed up things to the point where like you get the whole gist of everything. So literally right at the halfway point, you're getting the you're getting an understanding of like what's at stake and everything. I think the other thing that's funny too is, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say there's a fight right before the montage, and that's where the guy gets his tooth knocked out. The gold tooth knocked out.
Yeah, that's the first fight that Frank Dukes has, is against Hassan.
Yeah.
That's the first fight.
He knocks out his gold tooth. And I think that actually, I think, kicks off the montage, because the guy like grabs it, and then like the whole seeing all these dudes fight or whatever, which was also funny from the audio commentary. What I did learn a little bit was like most of the Asian dudes were legitimate like fighters, but they had a hard time like casting Americans because they did want to have like American / European looking guys to have like, it's a world tournament, right?
It's got to be a world thing. Yeah, of course.
So they were having a hard time apparently like finding some of the because they were in Hong Kong, right? And they didn't want to pay for people to come over other than the main actors. So they said that a lot of the white dudes are models, or like, that's why they look good.
Dude, and that makes sense.
They're in shape, but I was like,
they
were
shitty fighters.
They're shitty fighters, and they're all like real skinny, and like they're all wearing the gis because like it kind of covers up the fact that they're not like built super cut, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the Asian dudes apparently were like stunt fighters, stunt coordinators. Paco was like Paco was one of the few. I mean, not one of the few, but he was actually like apparently like some sort of Muay Thai like world champ or something. Again, maybe he was just like telling tall tales in the commentary. Which was funny because during the commentary, and this is why again the commentary is not super great, because Paco doesn't really say a whole lot, but when he does talk, it's usually the scenes that he's in. He's like, "Oh, here, this is where the world gets to see Muay Thai for the first time and sees how deadly it is." And I'm like, okay, dude, like let's calm down a little bit. And so he's really talking about himself and like how Muay Thai is the best. Like nobody wants to fight a Muay Thai guy because like they just can't beat him. But of course, this is a movie about Frank Dukes, so that's besides the point.
He gets beat.
Like, I was like, okay, whatever you say, dude. Like, I mean, he still looks like fucking ripped, and you know, he's like one of those guys that I'm sure has stayed with it, you know, for a very long time. But I will say that one of the things that I do like as well is like, I love the arena, like the texture and like the look of the arena. And I will say, like, I don't know if you ever watched Lucha Underground on the El Rey network.
No.
So it was basically like a low rent version of like the WCW or one of the, like, you know, it's like the WWE or whatever.
Okay.
But what was cool about it was that they'd got like real luchador like fighters, so they would do a lot of like this, flying off of whatever.
That's very acrobatic.
Is extremely acrobatic. But what I loved about it, and I would not be surprised if Robert Rodriguez had a big influence on that, which is the arena in which they fought that show looked like this one, in that they wanted it to look like the inside of an Aztec temple, but at the same time it had to be a functional like shooting like stage, because they talk about how the reason why the Kumite like stage and the way everything's set up is purely so that they could film it, because they were like, normally you wouldn't fight in a ring that big. It would actually be smaller, and so they were like, they made it bigger for the movie, and even when they curve it up at the end, like that's purely just to get more camera like set up. But I love that style, and it's one of those things where like, if you had infinite amounts of money, and you could build something like, they talk about like having like a hangout space or whatever. Like, I would totally make like the Bloodsport arena if I had like just like acres of land, and I'm like, oh, you want to go hang out like there, and like, I don't know, we can spar, or I'll just bring down the like, you can build like what do you call it, those big screen things that they have in stadiums, the scoreboard, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like they could just put up one of those so you can watch sports in like the Bloodsport thing or whatever, because it looks so cool, and it's clearly like a stage, like a sound stage. But I mean, they do like an amazing job of giving it, like whoever the set designer and whoever like came up with the look of that, like, I mean, it literally sets the tone for like Street Fighter, and like even though like Mortal Kombat takes place in different parts of the world, whatever. But I still feel like that aesthetic is driven by the look of because there's fire, like there's like those cauldrons of fire like inside of where the Kumite tournament is. They've got all the banners and all the the classic dudes with their betting like tickets or whatever, that they're kind of waving in the air.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a video game. I mean, I even feel like I would know how I would make all this if I had to make it for a video game. All the tricks and things that you could do to make it look like it's just like this very atmospheric sort of space. But yeah, I love that space. Like, it's just, it's super cool. Do you have a particular fight that is like your favorite fight of all of them? I mean, there's different, or I wouldn't even say favorite fight, but maybe favorite fighter, like, of the bunch.
I mean, it's funny that you're mentioning that the Muay Thai fighters, Paco is actually in the commentary, because for some reason to me he stands out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the Muay Thai style where he's got his hands up and he's doing his thing, and and I gotta believe that maybe that's why they kind of made him one of he was one like the quarter semifinalists, because he had a presence about him. So the fights, all of his fights, but then he ends up getting matched up with Frank Dukes. Yeah. And so that fight was probably my favorite, just because, I mean, mind you, there's more to it, and obviously, we know who wins, but But I know enough of Muay Thai where there's lots of kicking, and they tend to strengthen their shins, and like when they start kicking each other, it was very, that fight was very well choreographed, I believe. I mean, mind you, a lot of it, I mean, some of it looks, I mean, I'm gonna say fake, but I mean, it's clearly, they're pulling their punches. I get it, right? It's acting, but the way that the movement seemed legitimate, I guess, Yeah. So yeah, I liked I guess that I guess that would have been the quarter. That was a semifinal. Yeah. Yeah, because he won that, and then Bolo won his, and then they fought each other. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess the two, or one of the fights that I like was because it actually goes on for a minute, but it's like the, I don't know what kind of style that is supposed to be, but I assume it's like a monkey style. But when the guy that fights monkey style fights the sumo guy, like I, for whatever reason, really liked that fight, because like there's something about like the towering guy against the rolling guy that's just like jumping off of him and trying to all these different techniques and like the I guess he's supposed to be a sumo / like Island Pacificer like sort of combo because he doesn't fight sumo style. Like he fights more like I guess like a Pacific Islander kind of, you know, like he's got a combination of the two outfits. But I don't know. I like that dude in particular because like he is, I don't know, there's something about like he's very menacing. He is much bigger than everybody else. I like when he fights the monkey guy because like he's kind of like annoyed and he is kind of taking damage, and it's sort of like when you're playing a video game and you're like I feel like I'm doing some damage, and then like you lose and you're like, okay, clearly I'm not ready to fight this guy. I need either like new weapons or I need better whatever. But I like that after him he fights Frank Dukes because like, not that I remember watching as a kid thinking like, oh no, he's going to lose. I was like, of course he's going to win. But it was like kind of cool to see how this guy, like, I don't know. He's one of those guys that like, I would actually have liked to have seen his rise to like where he gets to this tournament, you know? And the fact that he takes the, what do they call that move? The Death Strike, the Dumok or Dimmok, I think is what it's called. Where he gives him the Dimmok to the stomach, and then somehow that guy like absorbs it. Like he sort of
he kind of like tries to shake it off.
Like he almost like very video game-ish. Like you can almost see the power being absorbed in. Like he's like, okay, yeah, I got it. Like I was able to stop it before it got to my critical parts in my body or something, you know. And then he gets the uppercut fucking to the nuts, which is kind of nuts. So I think outside of that, I think one of my other favorite characters, for whatever reason, I have no idea, but I like the ref. Like, I don't know why. Like, the ref had to have been one of the most badass dudes, because like you can't just be a ref if you can't handle what is going on in the ring, you know. Like, you got to be able to step in if you had to, which means he probably had some sort of history or background. He's wearing like this ultra cool, like silk.
Yeah.
Like he's like the
pajamas.
ladies' man. Yeah, like he's like the ladies' man. Like
it's like the Hugh Hefner fall collection. Of gear.
But he's like one of those guys where you know that he, like, if you tried to mess around, like he would just grab your hand and kind of do the thing, and you're like, okay, I give up. Like he's able to get you on your knees by just taking your hand and sort of like twisting it or
like
whatever.
doing like a Spock thing on your show.
Exactly.
You know
like,
what I mean?
I feel like I would love to see like a short film or short backstory of like whoever this guy is and how he gets there, you know? But yeah, that's another guy that I really liked. I mean, there's so many great characters. I mean, Bolo Young obviously is like,
dude, that dude's a legend, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's in some of like I have a ton of his movies because of this, but also, I mean, he fought like Bruce Lee. He's fought Jackie Chan. He's fought what's his name? A couple other dudes. That are big in the Chinese Hong Kong scene as far as like fighting goes. That dude is. I want to say he was like a bodybuilder too, on top of everything that he did. You know, so like
he took a liking to bodybuilding, and then and then the martial arts is still there. Yeah. You don't. I mean, that's. I mean, obviously I don't know that many Koreans, but I mean, the time I spent in Korea. In the army, I mean, there are not Koreans that big. Traditionally. I mean, I'm not to say that there are. I mean, of course, I'm sure they have bodybuilders and whatever, but like he made a name for himself, and then got into acting, and then all this stuff, and it's just like the dude is just like the presence, and he doesn't have a lot of lines. He's just like, you are next, and that, or just shit like that, the brick don't hit back, and it's like they keep him very Arnold Schwarzenegger, keep it simple in the beginning, and
I think he has
because his presence is his presence is what that's his thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's not known for articulate, you know, any language or anything, but
yeah.
That dude is definitely one of my, I guess, I mean, because I mean, unless there's a movie I haven't seen where he's the actor or whatever, but you know, he's one of those, you know, the villain or the henchman or the,
right.
You know, he's the bad guy, you know, and it just, I mean, he's definitely top 5.
Yeah,
in that realm.
Yeah, we may have to do a couple of his. I mean, because he's in Double Impact again with Jean-Claude, and then obviously he's in Enter the Dragon. But I will say that there's probably, I would say I may have to show you a few of his films where like he's not necessarily the villain. Like I know, like I've seen him in Tiger Claw. He's in Ironheart. He's in Double Impact. Breathing Fire. Actually, he plays a villain in that one, but he's pretty great in that one. He's in a movie called Blood Fight, which is after Bloodsport. But yeah, then he's like, obviously he was like in a lot of Bruce Lee movies and a couple other. That's right. He's in The Boxer's Omen. He's like, I mean, he knew his stuff and he was like very well respected. He's a great villain in the sense of like, if you were to draw like a villain when you were younger, it would look like him because like just the physique of a dude with like arms that big and like, I mean, he's just, he was awesome. Apparently he's like an awesome dude. Like he's a super cool, like chill dude. He just happened to, you know, fit the part, you know, at the time. Yeah. So, you know, good for him.
Man,
like,
can you imagine if they'd done like a Cobra Kai version to Bloodsport? Like there would have been a movie following him after this big loss because he was like the reigning champ.
Yeah.
And then he loses to some Westerner. And then like, so now he's got to like rebound and he, you know, does something back in his homeland, you know, because, oh man, dude.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, I would watch that. Like the whole like redemption story.
Like redemption story of oh man, damn. That would have been, that'd be cool. I would watch that.
We're gonna trademark or copyright that one. We have copyrighted that one for the record. So like,
right.
If you want to make that movie, you're gonna have to run that through us. But and then I would say the last guy amongst the group, obviously because he recently passed, but the Jackson character is about as American as you can get, and I really think like it gives a lot to the movie because he's like the kind of, I mean, I hate saying this, but I mean it's kind of the climate we live in where he's the kind of American that I like and respect. Of like he's friendly, like he's almost like, if you had to guess where he was from, I would say he's either from Texas or he's from like Louisiana or somewhere in this, like not in the Bible Belt South, but like in the South where like because he like quickly makes friends with with Jean-Claude, you know, over video games, and like he kind of roots for him, even though he's like, I think he mentioned this, he's like, hey man, we may have to fight, you know, like if we reach, I guess, the championship, we would have had to have fought. And so like, but he respects him, and like he's that classic sort of like scrappy American that street fights because, you know, we're such a melting pot of a country that we don't have like we don't have, you know, Tiger Style, or we don't have, you know, sumo or whatever, right? We have street fighting.
we got barroom fight.
Yeah, he's a biker fighter, you know, which again, you know, that kind of speaks to you know, the tough guy with like a heart of gold or whatever. And so like,
you know, I wonder if that's what they're going for, a biker bar, because he is wearing a Harley.
Yeah, absolutely.
A Harley 100%. Shirt, and he's got the bandana. So I mean that they definitely played on all the typical American shit that you don't normally see in the world, you know. So
I can
see that.
I totally get. I mean, I totally would guess that's what they were kind of shooting for. So yeah, I think that I definitely feel like that's kind of where that was kind of headed. But Yeah, I don't know. I mean, from the music to the characters. I mean, hell, we didn't even talk about like the fact that Forrest Whitaker is in this is in this.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Well, yeah. Let me get into that real quick because I was going to mention him, but more maybe not so much him, but but my last note that we haven't hit on. Mm-hmm. I was going to say the scene where it's with music, but they're basically chasing him through town.
Yeah.
From the hotel. Yeah, that whole scene. So I my note was going because I had to check on this on the timeline, but so that was an extended Mentos commercial.
Yeah, it is.
and so I looked it up. So this was in '88. In 1991 was when Mentos had their fresh maker era. So the first commercial where it's like, the whole like there's a problem and you take a Mentos and problem solved. So that happened 3 years later. So I'm prepared to die on the hill that this movie, somebody at Mentos in their marketing saw this and was like, because it's a Mentos commercial. I mean, that's what it seems like. It's like they fall in the water and he just kind of like does the thing, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. That's a Mentos commercial if I ever saw one. It's just missing the music,
right?
And so I had to check when that whole marketing thing went, and it was 3 years after this movie. So
and I think you sent me the thing.
That's my conspiracy theory.
You sent me the video that has the Mentos music like overlaid on top of this, and like it almost works like perfectly as far as like Mentos. I forget how the song goes. It's Mentos, it's something,
and and then it just kind of ends. They fall in the water, Mentos, and he gets away, and it's like Mentos.
Yeah.
That's. But I did like Forrest Whitaker. It seemed kind of. I don't know if this is one of his first roles or not. I mean, I'm sure he had other stuff, obviously, but no. I mean,
he was in Platoon before this, but he was coming off of Platoon. But he was still a relatively unknown guy, right? But he was starting to make a name for himself. But it is kind of funny because in trivia, if you were like doing trivia on this movie, like he won an Academy Award. So like this movie has an Academy Award winner.
An Academy Award winner
in it, just many years later for like I think he was the last King of Scotland is where he won an Academy Award. But like he's really young because that's the other thing. He was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but he's in that very, very briefly. Remember, he's the football player that he owns the Firebird, the gray Firebird that
that is him.
Sean Penn wrecks, and then they write all over it like Lincoln's going down for the football game or whatever, and like he gets all mad or whatever. But he doesn't really have any. I don't think he really has any speaking lines or anything like that. But and then the one last thing, I guess, before we sort of kind of wrap up, before we move on, is so I'll ask you because even when I was little, I don't understand this sequence because to summarize, it's called Bloodsport. I want to say Bolo Young kills the first guy he fights. Maybe I'm not sure. He definitely like messes up another guy pretty good, and I want to say like other people, like I want to say the monkey guy dies when the sumo guy like bear hugs him and crushes him.
Yeah, it sounds like it like breaks his back.
Yeah, and then he just kind of dumps him on the floor. So I assume he's dead. I do not understand, or I've never understood why when Bolo Young kills that one guy on the ground and he like punches him in the face and then he kind of does like the head thing,
the neck break,
yeah, and then like
why are they offended?
Yes, like
when it's an illegal fight to the death, no holds barred fight tournament.
I even as a kid I was like, okay, like he killed him, but how is that any different? And it's really like the ref that like sort of like checks on him. And then looks at the judges or the owners or whoever those guys are, whatever's equivalent to video store owners, those three guys. But he kind of looks in their direction, and then sort of they stand up and they're kind of give the emperor like thumbs down.
Yeah,
and everybody turns and like turns their back on him. I've never understood that. Like I don't Not that I condone death, but like, I don't.
Maybe because it wasn't done honorably. Maybe. That's a good point, dude. I hadn't really thought about that because that is kind of like, I wouldn't say pivotal scene, but it's a scene, that where it's like, he's brought shame to the tournament, even though Mr. Lin talks in the beginning about he killed the guy in the previous tournament
and watched him die. But
I was like, I guess I don't know if it was because the guy was in a vulnerable position, I guess. But if it's still a fight if it's a tournament where you could die,
right? It's
then if it happens, why would you bring shame to the the gods or whatever?
It's in the terms and agreement. That you signed when you decided to take on the event that's called Bloodsport, where you could actually die. Like, I don't know. I never,
that is.
I've never understood that. Like, I've always tried to understand like what actually is happening there, because I understand from a movie standpoint, because that was right after the army guys are trying to catch Frank Dukes, and they tell him, you have to come back because the army has invested a lot of money in you. So they're only worried about their investment, and they're worried that he's going to get hurt. And then I guess this is to show, not only could he get hurt, but he could get killed. And so they're trying to, I feel like, stress that, like, don't forget that people can die in this. But like 3 people have already died prior to this. Yeah. So what is kind of the difference here, right? So I don't know. Okay. I kind of question, the legality of what this means and all that.
Yeah, that's definitely like a discussion over like a meal. Like, that's like a discussion. Right. That's a debate to be had with somebody.
See, maybe it's a pivot point for like the backstory that you were saying, where Bolo Yeung, after this, he's like not allowed in these other tournaments because they're like, oh, dude, you got they turned their back on you.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna have to earn your way and show that you are a respectable fighter or whatever, and blah blah blah. I don't know. Maybe that's how I would write it. So
you know what? Yeah, you know what? That's a. I want to sit down at the bar at the Texas Theater and have this discussion with Chad.
Yeah, and try to sort out.
We need to get him involved in this conversation with the legalities of why was he shunned by the officials
right
at a tournament where death is on the table.
It's almost
and then
like
yeah.
It's not called Death Sport, but
yeah, I guess I hadn't thought that deep about it, but now that you're saying that, that's completely messing up my head right now.
Well, I will tell you, we probably will have.
Was there anything in the commentary about that?
No,
nothing.
No, because the super fan just kind of kept talking through the movie, and he's like, he's disgraced the tournament. I was like, but why? Why has he done it? I don't understand. This maybe have to be a follow up conversation as well with our friend Julie, because she's a massive Bloodsport.
Oh, she's also blood. Okay,
she's a huge
big on martial
Jean-Claude fan. So she may have a theory behind this. Actually, she's also a big Bolo Yeung fan. Like, honestly, like, I would not be surprised if she has like a poster for Bloodsport, Bolo Yeung, and Jean-Claude individually, like on her wall somewhere.
Okay.
So we may have to
get a confirmation on that in the comments.
Yeah. We'll have to have a follow up. So I'll see what I can find out from her. But
all right.
But yeah. So you
go first.
Okay. Is this? Oh well. Before this is a top shelf, because one more second to think about it. Yes.
Characters.
Who would make a good video store clerk from the movie?
Mr. Lin. I'm Mr. Lin the whole way.
Okay, interesting.
That's my guy. Because it sounds like he's just kind of hyped all the time.
Yeah.
I would even just kind of let him roam the aisles and be like, oh, have you seen this movie? Hey man, you haven't seen this movie? Because that dude was hopped up on Mountain Dew the whole fucking time. Yeah. Every time he was in the scene, he was on it. and he's keeping track of, like, he's like, hey man, you're supposed to be here. He's holding off the refs and be like, no, we can't start, man. Come on, give me a break. My guy will be here any minute. I want Mr. Lin on staff.
Yeah.
I think he can handle the rowdy crowds on like a Saturday night. If we have him just kind of like, I wouldn't put him behind the register because I think that's containing our resource. Like I think he could manage the high traffic areas and just kind of get people there, where they got to be.
Yeah.
So I would want Mr. Lin.
Yeah, I absolutely can see that. And I thought about that because I was like, yeah, he's definitely... It's funny because what I did learn from the audio commentary is like he is like he's either the first or second unit AD. So he was also one of the directors of the movie.
Nice.
But like doing the secondary stuff. And I think partly because he knew and was familiar with a lot of the fighters and a lot of stuff. And obviously he probably spoke the language that he could speak with them. But yeah, if he
Victor.
had that,
Victor is his first
if he had
name.
that get up, the way he's dressed in here, absolutely. Like,
yeah,
I was thinking about it in a variety of ways because I was thinking maybe the ref. I was like, maybe the ref has like this super ultra cool like deep cut sort of background knowledge, because he seems very like reserved. But then you're like, right. Have you ever heard of like Jim Cotta or Robo Vampire? And you're like, whoa, what? Like, he's like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm actually, I mean, maybe it's just because, RIP, but like, I think actually Jackson would be kind of cool. I think Jackson would be kind of cool because I don't know. He's kind of like, he's so friendly with, like, he's so big and intimidating, but he's also so friendly, like the way he is with like Frank Dukes and, like the way, when Frank, or when he's doing the splits and he comes into his room and he's like, hey man, like you shouldn't do that like for too long. You might want to have kids someday, like he just kind of seems to be that. And I guess also just from a pure security standpoint, if we ever ran into a situation like on a Black Friday or something where like it was getting a little crazy, like I'd be like, hey, muscle, for sure. I think we should just put like Jackson by the door and like make sure someone doesn't run out with a tape or something, but I think mostly just from the friendliness, I think he would have a very particular genre. Like he's one of those guys that like if you asked him like, hey, I'm looking for something for my wife and he'd be like, Bloodsport.
Point you to the Pixar.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he would just be like, Enter the Dragon. Like everything would just kind of be like very like one-sided and very like particular. Like, I don't think his genre is very wide of the movies that he would pick.
Right.
But I think he would still be very friendly about it. Like, I think he would just be like, oh man, there's some pretty cool fights in this one movie, even though like it's just one fight. And like he's a savant for movies with fights, but not anything other than that. Like if, he's like, oh yeah, that Bourne Identity, he's got pretty cool fights, but I couldn't tell you what the movie's about. It's confusing or whatever, but, so yeah, that would be my pick would be, Jackson and, also because of RIP, he seemed like a good dude. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, no, I like that. That's a good combo for employees. They would be our action guys, I would imagine. Like for our Saturday action, summer months, where we really need to push, some of the martial arts or anything with explosions, and karate and stuff like that. I think he would be a good fit. So, okay, so is this a top shelf movie? Man, I really had to think about this quite a bit. It kind of kept going back and forth, and then it was like, well, like this isn't even based on actual events. Like there's so many things here, but
yeah,
I think at the end of the day, like I do feel this is a top shelf movie because it, funny enough, like it doesn't have like a ton of nudity or this and that. However, it does have quite a long shot of a very rounded, muscular, like Jean-Claude butt, like that one scene after like the one night stand. And it's funny because in the commentary, the super nerd guy is like, oh, and in this scene here, we can really take in the physique of Jean-Claude. I'm like, dude, like you really need to settle down. Like he was just like, because apparently he's friends with Jean-Claude as well too. But like,
of course,
he's just like in great detail describing like how muscular and strong he was at this age and so on. I mean, I don't know, maybe the guy's gay, but I mean, nothing wrong with that. It's more of a like, hey, let's just kind of let's like settle down.
Yeah,
a little
some
bit,
things should just stay in you with your inside voice.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You know,
just kind of keep it there.
Yeah,
in your head.
Yeah, you could tell he was clearly like what do you call it? like a hype man, like a yes man for Jean-Claude. Like he would be like greatest fighter of all time.
Right.
Like he'd still kill you to this day. Like you know, never seen anything like it. You know, on and on and on. But I mean, as far as like watching this, as you can watch this as a group, you can watch this with like the family. If you can somehow convince a wife or a girlfriend to watch it, like it's not a terrible movie. Like it actually, it moves at a pretty good pace.
Oh,
like you said, the music is actually pretty badass. Like they did put out the soundtrack on vinyl not too long ago, which is actually pretty cool. And I wish I had picked up a copy. The way it's filmed looks amazing. Like, honestly, like a lot of the action sequences are really well filmed. And honestly, like even if you're not into like this style of stuff, of these, like, you know, like UFC or whatever, but like everything that Jean-Claude is doing is actually like kind of like, what's that thing? The Cirque du Soleil kind of stuff. Like, there are scenes where he like I think when Bolo Young comes at him and he jumps like straight up and does like the splits, he jumps like absurdly high for somebody that just did it from a stopped position. And so like if you're entertained by that kind of stuff, like when he does like the flying roundhouse like spinning kick and they show it in slow-mo, like it's
badass, dude.
It's if you respect like Cirque du Soleil, you have to like recognize that this is like top tier like stuff. Like it's you know, it's pretty goddamn impressive is what it is. It's cheese, but it's just the right amount of cheese. Like I said, I think the texture and the way it's filmed, there's so many things that kind of go for it. And I think the other big part too is like, I think it has such a cultural impact that like if you had younger kids, or even if you had, like your kids, and I know they're kind of grown up, but like if they ever wanted to know, which maybe they do kind of know, but maybe not fully, of like, hey, if you ever wanted to know where like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and some of these other like games came from, they kind of originated from Bloodsport, like the concept of Bloodsport, maybe not so much like Jean-Claude himself, but the tournament style, the different fighters from all over the world, like to the death, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. So I think it ticks all the boxes for what a fun, entertaining movie should be, even if you're not a big martial arts guy. I feel like, I feel like it rises above martial arts in a somewhat elevated way that you're, Chuck. I mean, obviously no disrespect to Chuck Norris, but like the Chuck Norris karate and stuff that we see in there, like it's very different than this movie. Whereas like this, like for example, all the fighting only happens in the ring. Like he doesn't really use any of it outside of the ring.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's all contained there. And that's what I guess kind of makes it seem more like, oh yeah, this is when you're going to see it. Right. And then in everything else, it's just like the movie and the story and the bits. And that is very slim and trim, and we don't stick on.
Oh yeah. There's no fat on this at all.
Yeah. Even the love sequences or the love story or whatever is super thin. It's just enough to kind of keep things moving. So
yeah,
all that to summarize, like I feel like, yes, it is a top shelf just because it does. Yeah. It is like you said, it is the apex of what a canon movie could have been. If it was like, if they were all done this way, Kanan would still be in business, but they didn't make all their movies like this. So
yeah,
that would be my pitch.
Yeah, they finally got the sauce tasting just right.
Exactly.
On this, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there was a lot of trial and error prior to this, and they finally got the secret sauce figured out.
Yes,
And then on top of that, they served it on a Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Right.
like this was his, like, I mean, everything hit no pun intended, but everything hit at the right time,
Right. Yep.
And this was gonna be top shelf for me also, just because there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of we have fond memories of it. We've got it just. I mean, I know I never turned out to look like Jean-Claude, but I know I was very inspired to want to learn martial arts. We were just coming off the whole ninja era, but this was me going into high school, and I still would have liked to have gotten into martial arts, but I honestly don't remember any any karate dojos in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure there might have been around there somewhere hiding, but I never saw them. But so that was just a fantasy of being,
Okay, so this is Eli from the future interrupting Eli from the past when we recorded as we were recording our Bloodsport, because we had the technology
we can make it better.
Time travel. We've seen I mean we saw
we know how it ends.
Silent
We know how the
Rage
podcast ends.
and Terminator. Yeah, exactly. we totally know how it ends. So we were talking about Bloodsport, and we were curious if it would be a top shelf, and I think without a doubt, like we unanimously decided it's top shelf. That said, we do have a couple employees, and we did want to hear from some of our employees, and we didn't want to not give an opportunity for one of our store employees, Julie.
Only one was awake.
Flickers. Yeah, Flickers from the Cave, who is a huge Van Damme, Bolo Young fan, and she was not working when we were recording the episode.
Yeah.
But when she did cover her shift over the past weekend, she left us an audio message on our message machine, because we do have a landline, and we do have like an answering machine. So let me play the answering machine message that Julie left over the weekend when she found out that we were when we were talking Bloodsport. So let's see what Julie had to say.
Hello, this is Julie Bizzle, and I am here at Top Shelf Video and wanted to cast my vote on this little canon number called Bloodsport, because the fight choreography rules. It's awesomely unique, with each fighter having such personality, and Jean-Claude Van Damme gets to fight Bolo Young twice in his career, but Double Impact, while it has electrifying helicopter kicks, it does not come close to Bloodsport, where Jean-Claude Van Damme really just nails a killer dick hit direct to Bolo Young, and it rules. And oh my God, talking about dicks and Jean-Claude Van Damme, Lunch Meat has one of the best copies on tape, and somebody hand drew a dick and pasted it on Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it rules. So yeah, that should definitely be in a museum somewhere. And talking about history also, I really don't care that this movie is a true story, but what I do care about is the Kowloon City, which is this like walled city, and it's featured in this movie. There's like a spot in it at least.
Nice.
But it's this Industrial Revolution building that got like mass squatted in and became a 14-story kind of gritty city of darkness. And it got demolished, I think, in 94, the year of our Lord and Time Cop. But yeah, it'll forever be in this film. So that's my vote. And I hope I'm not fired after this. Thank you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I would agree.
Minus
I think,
dick drawings, but I mean,
yeah, she had a lot to say about dicks. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that when we're not around, and what she's telling our customers when we're not around. But okay, yeah, no, I was good to hear from Julie, and that makes it that does make it a almost like a gold standard movie, I guess, because of
that's fair.
The additional vote. So, but yeah, so let's jump back in to the past of the podcast, and we will go back to our currently in progress lives in the future that's happening right now.
We do like the Wayne's World.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. All right, let's go back to the podcast. Yeah, but I mean, it isn't, like you said, there is a level of inspiration there that, I don't know, it really, I'm sure, along with the Karate Kid, sort of started to inspire people to want to use martial arts as a sport or as a extracurricular activity, right? Or a thing, It's like yet another outlet of discipline, and, for that, I think it deserves that credit as well too, right? Of like exposing people to that. Yeah, no, absolutely. I will say on one last note, or I guess as we're kind of wrapping up a little bit here, but like it is kind of funny because this thing is like based on actual events or the true life story of Frank Dukes. When this movie was filmed in 1988, according to the ending credits, apparently Mr. Dukes still holds the world record for fastest knockout in 3.2 seconds, which probably is just pulled out of his ass. Like, there's no way. Fastest punch with a knockout, 0.12 seconds, or I guess 12 seconds. Fastest kick with a knockout, 72 miles per hour, which I don't even know how you would A, measure that, and B, like, does that mean he, like, punched through the guy like 72 miles an hour? Like, that seems a bit absurd.
That sounds like that would have killed somebody,
right? Or like I said, his leg went through somebody. If it's going 72 miles an hour, fastest kick with a knockout at 72 miles an hour, most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament, 56. Like,
that should have been the red flag for bullshit, because there aren't even that many matches in the fucking Final Four NCAA tournament. Like, no team would go through that many. Like that that tournament would not be 3-4 days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and when we started talking about like how the it's already been debunked, and I was like, how did it took too long to debunk when those stats alone should have been like, wait, hold up.
Well, the first three, right? You could be like, if you don't know anything about karate or martial arts, you'd be like, that sounds. I mean, 3.2 seconds. I mean, that's pretty fast, right? Like,
that's like right on the fight, and it's over.
And you're like, whoa.
I mean, we've seen Tyson fights in like 18 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, So that's it sounds like it could be legit.
Yeah. It's the last one where it's like, this is that deal with like he's like 4 or 5 beers in, going like, oh, anything else? Like anything else outside of fat? Because they progressively get worse, right? Like fastest knockout, 3.2 seconds. Okay, you're like, Mike Tyson, 18 seconds. Okay, 3 seconds. That's pretty fast. Fast punch with a knockout, 12 seconds. You're like, damn, that's really fast. But okay, 12 seconds. And then it's like, well, what else you got? He's like, fastest kick with a knockout. He's like, how fast was that? And he's like, 72 miles an hour. And it's like,
damn, we're not even on time anymore. Now we're on speed.
Because somebody would be like, oh shit, like, damn, that's really fast. And then it's like, anything else? And he's like, I don't know, most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament. Oh, like 5? 56. I mean, shit, that's like a single tournament. That's like, how long was this tournament? Like a month? Like that?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I mean, remember we used to watch. I mean, the Ultimate Fighting ones literally didn't have a clock, right? The first one, it was.
I don't think. Oh, geez, that's. I
don't think
question.
it did.
I don't know.
It was like until somebody
did.
gave up. I'm almost sure, like that there was no clock in the first. I think they kept. I think they kept time, but only like time was going upwards. Like they were timing how long it took for the fight to go, but I don't. I want to say there was no actual clock because I remember them being like, they would sell it like saying it's until someone gets knocked out, somebody taps out, or somebody dies. Like they left it like pretty tight in saying that. So for this motherfucker to say 56 consecutive knockouts, I mean. Jesus. So yeah, I remember when I read up a little bit about this because apparently the Gracie family was familiar with this guy and they were like, and again, right, because this is pre-internet and also like he's an American saying all this stuff. And then these guys from Brazil who don't speak English are like trying to dispute this. And he would be like, they're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't even speak English. Like, what? You can't trust those guys, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, just don't worry about what they're saying, because obviously they were a very well-respected family, that we found out watching the Ultimate Fighting because, like, the little smallest dude of the tournament, like, beats everybody. And we were just like, holy shit. And, like, this is, like, fucking martial arts here. Like, this guy's choking out everybody. Like, nobody stands a chance against this guy. So, but yeah, so, okay. So then it is Top Shelf Video. I will say, depending on what we think of formats, I would almost say like this is one of those movies that I would be fine with having it in every single format. Like we can have it on VHS; it doesn't hurt it. We can have it on DVD. We can have it on Blu-ray. We can have 4K. It should just be available in every format as you can get. That said, I was going to show you this. So this is the copy that I have because I have like the. I have all the versions, but this one in particular, this is like the 4K version from MGM, but it's like an actual like it feels like a book, and it has like this little booklet here that
it's got a built-in booklet. Okay.
Yeah, and it's got stuff
with some stills from the movie.
Yeah, and there's like stuff written in here about like skipping to the fight scenes, and they talk particularly about the fight scenes, Hong Kong as a stage. I mean, there's these really like cool, like really nicely done,
nice,
like imagery that sort of like is in here. The man with the eye patch, and there's like a story about like some of the characters here that, where the original story came from. There's even a section called "Finish Him," and so you can tell like, and it talks a little bit about like its influence on Street Fighter and all these other like movies and whatnot. But this is a really cool like collector edition. Like, I mean, this shot with like Bolo Young is actually like pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it's like a textured, like it feels like a book. Like it like. When you grab this and you hold it, it feels like a really cool book.
It looks like a hardcover book.
Yeah, it is a hard. Yeah, the cover is like a like a very. I mean, if you pulled it out, you'd be like, "Oh, cool! You got a book on Bloodsport," and then you'd open it and see that there's like a 4K and a Blu-ray. But yeah, I want to say this is like under the MGM branding, so it's not like a. It's not like one of the other specialty labels. But that collector edition is actually pretty cool. There's a number of things if we're going to talk about merch that we could get for this, and I would kick off by saying like I feel like the vinyl soundtrack for this, which comes with obviously like Kumite, is pretty awesome. We definitely would have to have that in the store. Who put that out? Oh, Waxwork Records had put that out, and it's pretty cool. Like it's got Jean-Claude on the cover doing the classic like face, the look, but yeah, the art on the inside, is really cool or whatever, and it's got the kumite, and then it's got the other montage music and a couple other things. So yeah, that one's pretty cool. We definitely have to have the soundtrack in the store. I think again, kind of going back to some of the other things we were talking about, like I feel like you could have like a kumite arena lid top for a popcorn bucket. So like where the kumite stage is, like that opens, right, and then that's where the popcorn goes down in there. So like underneath it, like the bucket goes down. But I feel like that's something I could totally make, like in 3D. Like, I could make the upper stage part, and then it just has like an opening that connects to a bucket. So we got to have like a kumite popcorn bucket for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I think headbands. Like, there's.
I was gonna say headbands because Bolo had one, the Korean one, and then the Harley Davidson one,
the Jackson one, yeah.
Yeah. Jackson's got his.
Frank Dukes doesn't have one though, right?
Like, I don't think he. I don't think he has one, but he's got those. He has those sashes.
Yeah.
So I mean that he's got, like, he wears a gold one at the end. He's got the. I think what else is he wearing? I'm trying to remember what else he has on.
Well, he has the gi.
I think
like, the gi.
Yeah, the red gi looked cool with the black. That looked cool.
That's actually where they talk about how, like, there's apparently writing on there that is ninjutsu specific, and that's why they sort of bring up the fact that, like, oh yeah, that's like Tanaka is like ninjutsu because that is like, that thing or whatever. So, but yeah, I definitely feel like the headbands. I had to say, like, the shorts that Paco wears, and it's funny because in the audio commentary before the movie starts, he's like, yeah, these are the ones that I wore in the movie, and these are like throughout. He wears different pairs throughout the movie, and he talks about like those are my real like fighting shorts, and he's like, I guess he was called like the Little Lamb or something like that. Like I don't know why or what that stands for, but he was like, yeah, that's written across my shorts. But like those shorts just look awesome. Like I feel like we have to have them. Like specifically the Paco ones, because I feel like out of all the outfits, his is the one that stands out the most, in my opinion. There's a particular
like
look about it.
Like I said, there was something about him. He gave off like legitimate fighter vibes or something. I don't know what it was, but I liked his character.
Yeah, totally. Man, I don't know exactly what you would do with it, but maybe like it's one of those things that I don't know. I just think it would be kind of cool. I don't know how you would use it, and so I'd have to think through it. But like the scoreboard or like the board, the fighting board,
the matchup,
the matchup board, because they talk about it, and I never really paid attention. But like it's dragon versus tiger. Like if you look at like they pointed it out in the audio commentary, and so like on one side there is like a dragon, the other side there's a tiger, and I guess that represent like instead of like the red corner or the blue corner, it's like the tiger corner or the dragon corner, and so I don't know. It just seems like it would be cool to have that, even though I don't know what purpose it would serve other than like it's just one of those things you have like in your office. Like you have the little thing up there. Maybe it's like a clock or something. Like like it closes and then it opens, right? And so like it's like the time or whatever. Yeah, you know what? It could totally be a calendar, right? Like it would be.
Yeah.
It would be like the top 3 because there's 3 on each side, and it could be like the time on the top, and then like the day, the month, and the day, and then the bottom one can be like whatever, like I don't know, like a tidbit or something. I don't know, like or something. But it's gonna have like the little illuminated lights and everything, and it just kind of like that you can have. Maybe there's like a mini version that you have at your desk, so you can see like time as it's kind of going on or whatever.
Yeah. I'm sure we could modify it to just make it like a daily planner or like a weekly planner,
right?
But it would just have that as the bound or the border of the.
Or it's like, or the bottom one, like it's the time on the top. It's the time, but it only like updates every like quarter, right? So if it's 1 o'clock, then it's like 1, and it's like 00, and it won't change again until like it's 1:15, and then 1:30, then 1:45, and then 2, because if not, it would be like constantly just up and down. So it would happen 4 times like an hour, and then maybe the bottom one could be like. On the left side, on the very bottom, would be like now showing, and on the right side, you can put whatever movie it is you're watching or something, like now watching on the right side, like Bloodsport or whatever.
Right.
I think that would be kind of cool, like a little, cool little thing. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts for merch? Some things that we could.
I mean, you kind of hit on the big ones. I mean, I was thinking the bandanas. I mean, just fashion wear, I guess. Like you were talking about the Muay Thai shorts with a little patch there that says Top Shelf Video on the side there. I mean, we could have the bandanas, the Harley bandana, the Korean bandana, and there's a bandana that says Top Shelf Video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched on them because I was thinking clothing.
Right.
Really,
no, absolutely.
Just mainly for that one.
Well, there's one thing I think we're forgetting that we probably should have sitting next to. So we don't have a lot of arcades, but we do have a Last Starfighter like in the store, the arcade.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we have to have the
Karate Champ
sitting next to that because kind of makes sense. Like.
No, of course.
I think we'd be missing out or remiss if we didn't have that in there. I think the other thing that might be kind of fun, mostly just because like he's so unique and I don't know. It's just there's something kind of cool about it. But I feel like we need a cardboard standee cutout of like Bolo Young, just kind of like your next like. You're like when he says like, who does he say it to? Does he say it to Jackson, or he's talking
to Frank Dukes?
Yeah.
At the end after he killed the guy.
Yeah. And he goes. He walks up
to the corner and he's like, "You are next."
Yeah, we should have like a standee that has him sort of pointing. It says, "Your next video will be rented from Top Shelf Video," and then it has like a little bubble, but he's like, Bolo Young says your next video will come from Top Shelf Video, like visit our action section, or something like, but he's got to be like in that, like, like
he's got to be in that it's a cutout of him when he's pointing and looking.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be that. And that way,
actually, we could put that. We could put it like a cutout with the bubble would just be pointing at you before you walk into the video store and be like, "Did you rewind your tapes?"
Yeah,
But he's got that look.
Fine will be from Top Shelf Video if you don't rewind your tapes. Like, because you got to have. I feel like. I don't. Because the only other sort of iconic. Sort of phrase that I can think of is like that one guy that before they go into the Kumite area, and then that one guy's like, "Okay, USA," like he's kind of checking their credentials or whatever, and then I don't know who he is. I guess he's just the guy you got to get past, he's like
the bouncer at the door. I guess.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, "Okay, USA," like. And I think even Jackson's like, "Okay, USA," like kind of does the like mocking him kind of thing or whatever. But no, I think those are definitely those. I think those kind of hit the spot. I mean the poster. I mean, there's lots of posters, but if you're looking at, I mean, the poster I think for the most part is the one that actually has like Jean-Claude like in mid kick hitting Bolo Young like.
Yep.
That poster is just epic. So, I mean, we'd probably definitely want that for sure. But I think I don't know. Like I said, I feel like we didn't talk too much about the movie, but I think like, what is there really to say about this movie that hasn't already been said and is already in the like movie zeitgeist that, you know, we all like love and sort of respect. So, for sure. I think we've covered more than plenty, of Bloodsport, but, I feel like this is going to get us into our, maybe our martial arts phase to kind of kick off, the part of the summer as we kind of turn towards the summer and start like looking at like, what are those summer essentials, right, that you need to watch. And I think a lot of those are like these movies like Bloodsport or Enter the Ninja or Revenge of the Ninja, you know, or I don't know. I feel like maybe that's where we're headed, you know, for the next little sequence here is like we're gonna have to push through our martial arts phase. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it just just to close it out, I think I would say we dedicate this podcast to Donald Gibb.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was definitely the reason why we wanted to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Condolences to his family.
Yeah, seemed like a good dude and had a huge impact on people like our age and people like us. So I mean, I hope.
Oh, for sure.
I hope he went peacefully, knowing that like movie nerds like us would sort of continue on the legacy of movies with your Jacksons and those sorts of secondary characters. Yeah, Ogre. That really like had an impact and kind of one of a kind. When we say like they don't make them like they used to. I mean, you don't see that like a Donald Gibb in movies like nowadays, right? Like that lovable / seems intimidating, but yet probably easygoing, sort of guy. So R.I.P. to Donald Gibb, but left an impact for sure. So,
oh yeah.
Well, cool. I guess if anybody has any feedback or has thoughts on the bylaws of the Bloodsport and what constitutes like a back turning in the bylaws or in whatever the rule book section C had to say, like drop us an email or leave a comment. You can shoot us an email at topshelfvideo podcast@gmail.com if you have, or I don't know, maybe you were a ref at a Bloodsport or a I don't know, like whatever a minor Bloodsport would be, like a I don't know, like a bruise sport or like a cut sport, or something where maybe there's not so much blood, but maybe you were like officiant of a lower league fighting tournament. But just shoot us a message or leave us a comment wherever you listen to podcasts. We're pretty much in most of those places. You can go to our website, topshelfvideo.com, or YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. And of course, we're on Instagram, which is the majority of where our social media, like sort of outlets, kind of go out. So,
yep.
But yeah, it's I think before we open up, or really before the shop gets into full swing, I think we need to do our stretches and our. I think we need to get the blood flowing in order to get us through the day. So like. We have to do our warm-ups and all that stuff before we can...
I'm not stretching in the 2-chair thing.
No, I think I was more like touch
I have
my
to work
toes.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I just, I can keep it light. I don't really want to overdo it. At our ages, I think we could probably pull something, just from sneezing. So...
I can't laugh at that. It's happened.
Yeah, it happens. So
yeah, that is going to happen when you're over 50. So
yep.
That's
all right.
Can't fucking laugh about it.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go scrub the front sidewalk down. Hopefully, I'll find some loose gold teeth maybe on the front sidewalk. Maybe there's been some overnight Bloodsport action on the out in the parking lot before we came in. But I'll go see what I can find. But if you want to go sort things behind the counter, then we'll get the day kicked off, and we'll catch everybody at the next work shift.
All right, later.
All right, see ya.